Today we are going to study about organizational behavior. Organizational behavior, in short, we will call it as OB for our convenience. What is organizational behavior? OB is a discipline that studies the individual behavior and group behavior within an organization. In this chapter, we will study various theories of organizational behavior and also deal with individual behavior, their personality and perception, along with group behavior. First, we will see concept of organizational behavior, okay, or OB, organizational behavior. OB is not only a discipline but an integrated study of three behavioral sciences, that is psychological, sociological and anthropological. In a literal meaning, it's a discipline. We will study three branches related to human behavior here. One is psychology, sociology and anthropology. An organization has human beings. And human being is the most effective resource of any organization. And understanding of their interaction in organization is very necessary, so that their efforts can be helpful in realizing the goals of an organization. So now, according to Aldag and Brief, OB is a branch of social science, that seeks to build theories that can be applied to predict, understand and control behavior in a work organization. It can predict, understand and control the behavior of humans in a work organization. Organizational behavior studies human behavior at individual level, at group level, at organizational level. Unlike the pure science, which concentrates on fundamental researches, OB concentrates on applied researches. It concentrates on applied researches. So, to solve organizational problems, organizational behavior is a normative science, prescribes how the various findings of the research can be applied to get organizational results. Organizational behavior is a total system approach which takes into account all the variables like people, structure and technology. Affecting organizational functioning. In the other words of Bernard, an organization is a conscious interaction of two or more persons. An organization is a conscious interaction of two or more persons. This is the definition given by Bernard. Now let us see the significance of OB. To get the productive work from employees, managers must know how the people in the organization behave. Thus, the signification of OB is explained in three heads. Three heads are: first head is understanding human behavior. A human behavior is a complex phenomenon and is affected by a large number of factors: psychological, social, cultural, and some others. OB studies individual behavior in respect of three factors: and at 4 levels. Those 4 levels are: first is individual level, in which individual behavior is understood. Second is interpersonal level, in which behavior with other people is noted. Third is at group level, in which behavior in a group is studied. Fourth is intergroup level, in which interaction between two groups is studied. Now, controlling and directing behavior. We were studying the understanding of human behavior as first head. Second head is controlling and directing behavior. Once the manager understands that why a person is behaving in a particular manner, he should also know the technique of controlling his employees and technique of controlling the behavior of the employees, so that the organizational goal can be achieved. The target is to achieve the organizational goal. For this purpose, OB helps managers to use any of the tools to control employees, and some of the tools are like use of power and sanctions. Power is the capacity of an individual to take certain action only under given authority. Now, sanctions are certain restrictions on the action of employees which can be employed using power. Second is leadership. It is the managerial trait inherent in the manager which can greatly influence the behavior of employees. A manager can adopt different leadership styles, keeping in view the kind of people and keeping in view the kind of situation an organization is having. Third is, we can say C, communication. Now, managers spend considerable time in communicating with internal as well as external world. Communication is a tool by which anyone can influence the behavior of other person. It is therefore counseling and advice that various people and their various personal problems can be sorted out. Fourth is organizational climate. A climate is helpful to the growth and well-being of people, makes the organization more efficient. Climate does not mean only physiological conditions and facilities. A good organizational climate is made up of effective supervision, opportunity for realization of personal goals, friendly relations with peers and subordinates at the workplace, and a sense of our organization. Such climate can make the employees behave conforming to organizational norms. Third head is organizational adaptation. An organization never works in isolation. It will continually interact with environmental changes, that is, changing standards of living, way of thinking, changing standards of living, way of thinking, and technological changes, and some others. An organization has to adapt itself to such changes. A manager has to find out the need for changes. Then he has to face resistance from employees to these changes. Now let us see some of the theories of the organizational behavior, theories of OB. There are set of interrelated concepts, definitions and principles that present a systematic view of various interactions among people in the organization. So some of the key theories of OB are: first is classical theories. Now in classical theories, there are traditional or long established theories which became the foundation stones of systematic study of the organizations. This theory prescribes that an organization is built around the work to be done, built around the concept of work to be done. It believes that incentives motivate employee. It also believes that incentives motivate employees. Supporters of classical theory of Taylor, actually the basic of Taylor, classical theory was Taylor, and the supporters were Frank, Lillian Gilbreth, Gnat, and Emerson. Frank, Lillian Gilbreth, Gnat, and Emerson. So to understand classical theories, we will have to understand the following given terms. First is, three terms are there: scientific management theory, administrative theory, and bureaucracy theory. First is scientific management theory. Second is administrative theory. Third is bureaucracy theory. Let us understand them one by one. First, we will understand scientific management theory. Frederick Taylor had done a lot to increase the productivity of workers. He is also known as father of scientific management. This scientific management approach emphasizes the scientific study of work in order to improve workers' efficiency. He tried to find out effective work standards and develop scientific method to improve productivity. Principles of scientific management. Scientific task planning. First comes the scientific task planning. Management should find out the amount of work which an average worker can perform during a day under normal working conditions. This can be achieved by time and motion studies. The aim is to eliminate unnecessary and wasteful motions and to find out minimum time required to do a job. Second is standardization. Second principle of this scientific management is standardization, which means standards have to be set in advance for deciding the work procedures, quality parameters, time schedules, working conditions. This will increase efficiency of the employees as well as efficiency of an organization. Third term is scientific selection and training of workers. This means jobs should match the ability and skills of the employees. Fourth comes the functional foremanship. Functional foremanship. It says that factory should be divided into several supervisors controlling different departments. These functional specialists perform the planning function and provide expert advice to the workers. Taylor proposed 8 different supervisors to give instructions. What are those? Who are they? Or what are the posts? First is route clerk. Second is instruction and time clerk. Third is cost and time clerk. Fourth is gang boss. Fifth is speed boss. Sixth is inspector of the division. Seventh is repair boss. Eighth is shop disciplinarian. So according to Taylor, 8 different supervisors are needed to give instructions. They are route clerk, instruction and time clerk, cost and time clerk, gang boss, speed boss, inspector, repair boss, and shop disciplinarian. This helps to differentiate planning from doing functions and doing in proper way. Fifth point is maximization of output. Maximization of output says that the worker must aim at maximum output instead of restricted output. Sixth point is differential piece rate system. In order to motivate workers, wage incentives were made. Wages are directly linked to the piecework distribution of gains. That is, piecework distribution of gains. Wages are directly linked between employees and employers. Now, let us see the 7th important step, which is harmony, not discord. Discord means difference or dispute. Now, what does it say? That there should be complete harmony between employees and employers through mutual cooperation for well-being of organization. Scientific management theory is limited to the shop floor only for bottom line workers. It applies to all the production divisions of an organization. It deals with physiological aspects of human efficiency. It does not work on management functioning. Now, second is, first we have read about scientific management. Now, second is administrative theory. Now, let us see what the administrative theory of organizational behavior says. Who was the propounder or developer of this theory? Henry Fayol was the developer of this theory. He was from France. This approach focuses on principles that can be used by managers to coordinate the internal activities of organizations, like planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. Planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. It explains the process of managing an organization from the top managerial perspective. Henry Fayol has given 14 principles of management. Let us see those 14 principles. 14 principles of Henry Fayol. These are very popular principles. We will see all the 14 principles one by one. First is division of work. Henry Fayol has stressed on the specialization of jobs. He recommended that work of all kinds must be divided and subdivided and allotted to various persons according to their expertise in a particular area. Subdivision of work makes it simpler and results in efficiency, which also leads to specialization. Specialization of job is the key term, which makes all the things simpler and result efficient. Now, second principle is about authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility are coexisting. Without them, there is irresponsible behavior. If authority is given to a person, he should also be made responsible. And in the same way, if anyone is made responsible for any job, he should also be given concerned authority. Authority refers to the right of supervisors or superiors to get exactness from their subordinates, whereas responsibility means obligation for the performance of the job assigned. Third principle is about unity of command, also said as principle of one boss. This principle says that a subordinate should receive orders and be accountable to one and only one boss at a time. In other words, a subordinate should not receive instructions from more than one person because it undermines authority, weakens discipline, creates confusion, skipping responsibility, overlapping of efforts, duplication of work, delay and chaos at the workplace. It also divides the loyalty of the employee. Therefore, dual subordination should be avoided unless and until it is absolutely essential. So, principle of one boss was the theme behind this. Now, let us see the fourth principle, which says about unity of directions. Fayol advocates one head, one plan which means that there should be one plan for a group of activities having similar objectives. Related activities should be grouped together. There should be one plan of action for them, and they should be under the charge of a particular manager. According to this principle, efforts of all the members of the organization should be directed towards common goal because it leads to unity of action. Fifth principle says about equity. Equity means combination of fairness, kindness and justice. It's a equity is the combination of fairness, kindness and justice along with control. It implies that managers should be fair and impartial while dealing with the subordinates and give similar treatment to people at same level. They should not discriminate with respect to age, caste, sex, religion, relations, etc. Fayol was of opinion that at times force and hardness might become necessary for the sake of equity. Fayol was of opinion that at times force and harshness might become necessary for the sake of equity. Sixth principle is about the orders. This principle is concerned with proper and systematic arrangement of things and people in an organization. Arrangement of things is called material order, and placement of people is called social order. Material order is about arrangement of things. Social order is about arrangement of or placement of people. Material order. First, let's see material order. There should be safe, appropriate and specific place for every article and every place to be effectively used for a specific activity and commodity. Every material should be kept safely at their appropriate place and at the specific place. Now, social order. What does the social order says? Selection and appointment of most suitable person on the suitable job. Suitable person for suitable job. There should be a specific place for everyone so that they can easily be contacted whenever need arises. Seventh principle is about discipline. According to Fayol, discipline means sincerity, obedience, respect of authority, and observance of rules and regulations of the enterprise. Discipline means obedience, respect of authority, observance of the rules, and regulations of the enterprise. This principle states that subordinates should respect their superiors and obey their orders. This ensures smooth functioning. Discipline can be enforced if there are competent superiors. Fair agreement along with adequate punishment. Eighth principle is about initiative. This principle says that workers should be encouraged to take initiative in the work assigned to them without being asked to do so. Now, Fayol advised that management should provide opportunity to its employees to suggestion of ideas by the employees, experience and new method of work, as it builds an environment of trust and boosts morale. New method of work. Employees can be encouraged with the monetary and non-monetary initiatives. Ninth is remuneration of employees. Remuneration of employees. This principle says the quantum and method of remuneration to be paid to the workers should be fair, reasonable, satisfactory, and rewarding of the efforts. As far as possible, it should accord satisfaction to both employer and the employees. Wages should be determined on the basis of cost of living, work assigned, financial position of the business, wage rate, privilege, etc. Logical and appropriate wage rates and methods of their payment reduce tension and differences between workers. Fayol also recommended provision of other benefits such as free education, free medical, and free residential facilities to workers. 10th principle is about stability of tenure. Now, what does this principle say about? Fayol emphasized that employees should not be moved frequently from one job position to another. That is, the period of service in a job should be fixed. So, according to Fayol, time is required for an employee to get used to new work and succeed doing it well. But if he is removed before that, he will not be able to render worthwhile services. As a result, the time, the effort, and the money spent on training the worker will go waste. So, stability of job creates team spirit and a sense of belongingness among workers, which ultimately increases the quality as well as the quantity of the work done by the employee. 11th is about a scalar chain. 11th principle is about a scalar chain. Fayol defines a scalar chain is the chain of superiors ranging from the ultimate authority to the lowest. It's the chain of superiors from ultimate or main authority to the lowest level. Every orders, every instruction, every message or request or explanation has to pass through a scalar chain. But for the sake of convenience and urgency, this path can be cut short, and this shortcut is known as gangplank. Gangplank. What is a gangplank? A gangplank is a temporary arrangement between two different points to facilitate quick and easy communication. Now let's see the figure of the gangplank. This is diagrammatical representation. This is point A. This is D. In between comes B and C. And E, F, and this is G. So in normal situation, message passes from D to C, then to B, then to A. And if needed, from A to E, then to E to F, and then E to G. But in the special condition, this message could be passed directly from G to B or directly from D to E. So, as per need, and a temporary arrangement between two different labels can be created, initiated This temporary arrangement will facilitate quick and easy communication for urgency and for benefit of that project. Now, Gangplank clarifies that management principles are not rigid. Rather, they are very flexible. They can be moduled and modified as per the requirements and as per the situations. 12th principle is subordination of individual interest to general interest. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. Now, this principle says that an organization is much bigger than the individual. It constitutes, therefore, interest of the organization should prevail in all circumstances. As far as possible, reconciliation should be achieved between individual and between group interest. But in case of conflict, individual must sacrifice for bigger interest of the organization. 13th is about esprit de corps. Esprit de corps. It refers to term spirit, that is harmony in the work group and mutual understanding among the members to promote hard work. It is about spirit, which further refers to harmony in the work group and also mutual understanding among the members. In order to promote hard work. Fayol cautioned the managers against dividing the employees into competing groups because it might damage the morale of the workers and morale of the interest of the undertaking, means organization, in the long run. He also cautioned against the more use of Britain communication to the subordinates, that is face-to-face communication should be developed. He promotes, Fayol promotes face-to-face communication of face-to-face communication of employees to their subordinates. The manager should infuse team spirit and belongingness. Team spirit and belongingness. Team spirit and belongingness. There should be no place for misunderstanding. People will then enjoy working in the organization and people will offer their best towards the organization. The 14th and the last principle of Henry Fayol is about centralization and decentralization. An organization must balance between centralization and decentralization. Centralization means concentration of authority at the top level. Concentration of authority at the top level. And decentralization means disposal of decision making authority to all the levels of the organization. Decentralization means disposal of authority especially decision making authority, disposal of decision-making authority to all the levels of the organization. According to Fayol, degree of centralization or degree of decentralization depends on number of factors like size of business, experience of superiors, dependability and ability of subordinates. Now, let us see the third theory. Bureaucracy theory. Bureaucracy theory can be defined as the organizational structure with highly routine operating tasks performed under formalized rules and regulations. Highly routine operating tasks performed under formalized rules and regulations with tasks assigned to various departments. It gives foundation to formal organization. Max Weber evolved bureaucratic theory in his work The Theory of Social and Economic Organization. The Theory of Social and Economic Organization. Bureaucracy theory was given by Max Weber, and he explained this theory in his work, which was named as The Theory of Social and Economic Organization. Let us see the elements of bureaucracy, important elements of bureaucracy. First is about hierarchy. There are managerial levels where each subordinate is supervised by his boss. Second element is division of work. We say that total work is divided into specialized jobs. Each person's job is broken down into simple, routine and well-defined tasks. Third element is rules and regulations. Organization frame formal rules and regulations which all the employees have to conform while conducting tasks. They have to be applied in an impersonal manner. Fourth element of bureaucracy is departmentalization, which says that similar tasks and activities are grouped into functional departments. Fifth element is about narrow span of control. This states that no single executive should have many subordinates under his guidance. This is due to the fact that he can supervise employees of his department only. Narrow span leads to efficiency. Sixth element is records. According to this, documents have to be kept for everything by maintaining files on a day-to-day basis. This helps in future reference of past work. Seventh element is impersonal relationships, which says that there is no place for personal emotions and favors. Rules are for everyone, be it a manager or be it a clerk. Eighth element of bureaucracy theory is administrative class. There is a special class of officers called as bureaucrats who are selected on the basis of their competence and skills. They are trained and posted on the senior positions. Ninth element is rationality, which says that judgments are made in a rational manner according to an objective and prescribed rules. Judgments are made in a rational manner according to an objective and according to a prescribed rule and regulations. Now, in the next video, we will study about neoclassical theory. This is the second broad division of the theories of organizational behavior. Till now, we have studied about classical theories. In the next video, we will study about neoclassical theory. Till then, goodbye.